Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of the lunch break. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm joined by...
Black Ice.
And the keys.
Man, y'all forget y'all names every single episode, man. We
gotta get the order.
We have, once again, another action-packed, cool, fun, exciting show for you. So let's get this show on the road right now. Let me grab my lunch box. Here's my lunch pail. Once again, lunch pail live. All right. All right, so the first topic we got today in the appetizer is 4 cops are getting prosecuted. Man, y'all gotta work with me, man. I'm tripping today. All right, so 4 former. Oh, the music's too loud. I just moved, everyone. I'm gonna keep it real. I just moved. My world is discombobulated. Episode 7, I'm gonna be all the way back on my game. What you say, mask face?
Yeah, growing pains, man. Growing pains.
See that? He was trying to roast you, bro. He didn't say growing pains.
Mask face got so.
That boy on defense tonight, ain't he?
You know what it is? Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, moving
growing pains, you young boy. All right, so 4 former LMPD officers face federal charges for the March 13, 2020 cold-blooded murder of Briana Taylor. Briana Taylor was a 26-year-old black woman and an emergency room technician. She was gunned down by police who lied to be able to get the warrant to break into her apartment. Gentlemen, what do you think about this?
That nothing surprised me, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they get out of it and work in another precinct. Sad to say.
With me, I'm hoping. You know, we get this kind of news so much. I am glad that we're seeing at least more cops starting to get arrested and prosecuted. But as far as the consequences they'll face, I'm curious to see what will happen because we're still under the same system. So let's see how far it actually goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they knew about this from the get-go.
Yeah, see, the thing for me, I'm kind of I would say jaded because part of me is like, this is good, but I don't know if they're doing this for politics. You know, we know the midterms.
It's election year.
Yeah, exactly. So they might be doing this just to try to get black people, back on the Democratic plantation. So while this is good, I want to see it all the way through. I want to see what the result of it is. I want to see if they give these people major time or if they're going to go to Club Fed. But at the end of the day, the optics of it are really good, but the thing is, this system is so devilish and so full of games and trickery that you can never, ever take anything at face value. You take it at face value. And I know it's weird to talk about taking face value with some dude that got his face wrapped up, but
it's systematic.
Yes, you said it's systematic.
No, it's thematic. You know, it makes sense. You know, face value. I don't got no face, so I ain't gotta worry about taking anything at face
value. Yeah. So, Keith, you want to dive in deeper about what you were talking on the topic? Like, what do you really think about these 4 police officers? How do you think about the situation? How it's framed, and do you think this is a path to justice?
Well, truthfully, given the way that the system works, and of course, like you brought up the fact that it's a midterm year, a lot of this stuff could just be a power play. You know, some for PR, some to make Tennessee look good, and so I'm really not too trusting of if there will be actual justice and how long will they drag out the whole entire case, and are they just gonna get this new story out there and then wait till it kind of dies down in order to kind of sweep them under the rug. So there's a lot of different ways that they could play this and that they have played it in the past.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's like one of those situations where the Theranos CEO, she scammed all those investors and then they put her case out a year so everybody could forget about it.
Right,
and then,
exactly.
and then they're gonna come with the sentencing, and they're gonna give her a slap on the wrist. By the way, G Bubby, he was waiting to get back at me.
She wanted to smoke.
That's funny.
Hey, G Mummy, how's Uber going with the gas prices at like $6 a gallon?
I can already hear her. She's saying, I don't Uber.
I thought this dude was supposed to be on vacation. He said he take 4 vacations a year. I thought he was supposed to be gone. He said he's gonna be gone for 2 years. He ain't here harassing my knuckles.
That's a she.
Yeah, but oh, that's a she.
G mom.
What? I'm not British. I don't know what mum means.
Mom, you not cultured?
Man, look, moving pains. I'm telling you, growing pains and moving pains, man.
G mum. Okay, well, G mummy. All right, so
boy, California public schools, boy, they ain't learn nothing.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, to wrap this up though, let's hope for the best in this all, and I hope these people, I hope they get football numbers.
Yeah,
10, 20,
seriously.
30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
I know you two nerds don't know what football numbers mean.
Don't do that to me.
I bet Jay had the cleanest uniform at every game.
Black Ice looked like the type of dude that drive a tricked out Honda Civic with anime characters on it. He got a Subaru WRX. You know it. He looked like it. All right, so the next topic is Call of Duty. It looks like Call of Duty is going to be, deviating from their yearly release. And to talk about it, I'm going to bring up our esteemed guys, George and Duke. How you fellas doing today?
How y'all?
We're feeling good.
Man, I gave y'all that energy. Y'all got to bring me that energy back. You're like, y'all.
I'm feeling good, man. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Excellent.
And actually, you know why?
Why
I'm feeling great? Is this Call of Duty is pretty much gone for at least for a while, because quite honestly, that series has been overused and overrun for the past, I don't know. It was tired back in 2012, and now it's just was like at least they can actually do one thing. What at least the Assassin's Creed series did, and they came back better. Take a couple years off. Just sit there, take a couple years off, and be better about it.
Call of Duty is actually like the reason why Activision is probably taking a year off is because Activision is getting ready to be sold by Microsoft. So it's like they're just preparing the passing of the shit to them, I guess.
Hold on, you said Activision is being sold by Microsoft?
It's being bought by Microsoft. That's what I meant to say.
They're buying. They have this, and then Sony has buying their stuff. At this point, I just wonder that what's going to be the games and such, because now, what I say about Call of Duty and everything else, the quality's gone down and such, but people still buy it. It's still one of the highest. People just go and run and buy that game every year since it's come out. It's like Madden. I gotta go get the Madden. Oh, I gotta get the next Call of Duty, regardless of the quality and such. But yeah, I just think that this is a good thing for them, but I think it's just.
Well, the thing is, they're owned by Microsoft, so we know Microsoft is going to end up running all their IPs down in the dumps, like they do everything. They kill every single IP. Halo's on life support, guys.
They still do that?
Halo is on life support.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is safe in Microsoft's domain.
Well, from the outside, kind of looking in, I think it's interesting that they're not coming out next year, because it starts to give space for other games and more creativity in the gaming industry, because it's the same thing with movies, television, music. Everything's just so samey to the point where it's like you have a monopoly. Everybody's doing the same thing, so it allows for a bit more room and to breathe, and not everything to be, I guess, franchised.
Actually, I disagree with Jay, man, because I feel like with Microsoft, as far as gaming wise, I think Microsoft going in a different direction, because like I said, from the outside looking in, it seems to me they looking past consoles. Because the direction they're trying to go with Microsoft, they want to keep up the IPs because they'll be more focused on selling software than the hardware itself.
But they don't have a history. They have a history of killing their IPs. They have not
outside of gaming. Yeah, I totally agree. Outside of gaming,
with the gaming, Project Gotham Racing, Damn, y'all tested Halo. Look at Halo Infinite. When they first showed
Gears
that
of War.
joint was half big.
Yeah, Gears of War.
Gears of
Halo.
War.
Forza
Mech
Motorsport.
Assault.
Mech Assault. There's so many IPs they destroyed.
Fable.
Yes, Fable.
Perfect Dark.
Fable is about to be turned to do a Diablo clone or whatever. They just killing all their IPs, man. So I know you're trying to kick for Microsoft, but they are destroying IPs. I'm sad.
And at the end of the day, though, it's funny because at the end of the day, people keep downing them. Nintendo is still making all their money, and they just passed over like $111 million of sales on the Switch. So they're just sitting there chilling, and everyone else just like everyone's playing for second place again, which is like even with all their like Sony and Microsoft buying all these like companies to get their IPs, but yet no one's buying no one can find their consoles. One and two, there are no games for those consoles, and now you got no Call of Duty, so that's gonna be even more barren.
But to your point though, Nintendo is the only one that's pushing gaming forward. They're the only one taking chances and experimenting.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Whether to pass or fail, you know what I mean? Because like even today, some of the best features you like the vibration on the controller and like came from Nintendo. You know, the platform, the platformer. You know, Nintendo. So they the ones that actually try to push gaming forward. Yeah, even the Switch. Even though they got weaker graphics than the Xbox and the PlayStation, they outsell them because they more focus on the player experience and then the graphics.
That's very true. Yeah. Nintendo focuses on the core experience, but that's the greatest thing. Nintendo consoles are like weapons on Breath of the Wild. You can't get too used to them. Like you'll like a Nintendo controller, and then the next generation they come out with something totally different. It's like,
or in some cases with the Pro controller, completely and totally broken in some cases with their whole drifting and such. I mean. How bad is it that I can get like a $30 cheaper Pro controller from Nintendo and actually, a third-party one, and it works better than the actual Pro controller?
Wait, you talking the Pro controller or just Joy-Cons? I think this is Pro controller.
Joy-Cons.
The Joy-Cons and the Pro controller.
Oh, okay, I didn't have an issue out of the Pro controller. They might work fine, but the Joy-Cons, they had an issue.
Yeah, that's the one that they got sued actually for. But as you were saying, a lot of these big companies, Sony and Microsoft, are trying to move away from consoles. So they're trying to create like an ecosystem similar to like Apple. So like they're putting a lot of their exclusives on PC and like mobile. So they're not really thinking of like, you don't have to get a PlayStation to play PlayStation games anymore. So that's every single big company's like forward plan.
Well, so they want to go hardware agnostic, if you want to call it that. But
yes, basically.
At the end of the day, you have to have games. If you're ruining your gaming franchises, it doesn't matter if you have some type of cloud strategy or you could play anywhere. We've seen games from Windows Live. We've seen them try to do this multiple times. You need games. What happened with Stadia? You got this cloud system, whatever. But you ain't got the games, and plus the whole business model was trash.
There's a lot of problems with that.
You gotta have games. If you don't have, if you're ruining your games, man, you got nothing. Project Gotham Racing they should have doubled down on that. They should have had that. They should have had Forza as their simulation in Project Gotham Racing. They should have had Mass Effect. They should have bought that IP, man. They over here.
EA.
Who did it? Microsoft published the first one though.
Yeah, they actually. Microsoft owned BioWare for like a while, and then EA bought them off them.
Yeah. So Brittany Chavez says that the last Modern Warfare and Black Ops was a hit for Call of Duty. I didn't play either one. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, it was. They were.
It was alright.
They were good, but
it wasn't the best. It was like they got really formulaic real fast, like because they went to a new engine. So it was like, oh, it's prettier, but again, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and to me, the best one was Modern Warfare back in 2007. I think that was their peak, and you could tell the downfall was right after Modern Warfare 3. It was pretty much over, and I just stopped. I actually, after the Modern Warfare trilogy, I pretty much stopped playing it.
$1 billion
that's
Scott gave
the,
you a middle
main
finger and
issue
said
with
that
most
game
of
was
these,
boring.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Keith Weston said indie games are the best games to get into. Man, if you play
True.
Switch, you have
I
a bunch of
agree.
indie games. But the thing with indie games, you gotta wade through a whole bunch of crap. You got Brittany
that's the
Chavez
problem.
coming with the heat. Yeah, you got to go through a whole bunch of crap. Brittany Chavez said Nintendo only has kid games, but they're changing by bringing GTA 5 on it. GTA 5 should not be the standard for any kind of game with those bootleg missions. Drive to X, get cracked, drive back. No, thank you.
Well, honestly, if you wanted to have a good mature game, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is pretty mature for us, for everything else. So seriously, the Xenoblade Chronicles series on the Switch, that stuff is for like you can play those games. They're completely fun and have.
All right, so fellas, you want to wrap up this segment?
Of course. Call of Duty is just Call of Duty. It's like McDonald's. You get what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll just say, I hope this rest period for Call of Duty will be good for them, and it could be like Assassin's Creed. They came back with Origins, and they were it was a lot more positive for the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm hoping that could be the case for the Call of Duty franchise. They take a couple years off, they come back refreshed, and have a brand new game in their series that actually brings people back into it.
All right, awesome. Thanks for hopping on, fellas. We appreciate it. We went overtime. We went 2 segments for y'all. The conversation was so good.
Yeah.
But now we're going to continue the show. We really appreciate you. Make sure you check out the live stream every Friday, game night once a month. See y'all later.
All right, see you, fellas.
All right, on to the next topic. Let me give y'all some mac and cheese. All right, the next topic is oh Lord.
Oh, come on.
Man, Ed Keeks be on the fringes of the internet and be finding some of the weirdest crap, okay?
No, don't do that to me.
You brought this one up. All right. So for the uninitiated, vabbing. I don't know. How do you pronounce it, Ed Keeks? Is it vaping or vabbing?
Vabbing. Let me explain. So YouTube recommended me a video by this guy named Jamari Speaks, and there's a TikTok trend where women are taking their vaginal fluids, putting it on their neck, putting it on their wrist, and using it in order to attract mates. So this is some sort of popular TikTok trend that's been making the rounds. And the main lady that's done it, now she has a whole entire thing where people are where she's making posts, and it's like a vlogging thing now that she does about vabbing.
So everyone, this is what Keith looks at when he's online.
Don't do that to me.
I know you use it.
And vabbing, just so you know what vabbing is, it's a combination of vagina and dabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're using your vaginal fluid as perfume. And so this, not only is it disgusting, but one of the worst takes I've seen was by The Independent. The Independent wrote an article that says people's rejection of vabbing is just a part of a long legacy of people policing women's bodies and being disgusting with women's bodies. It's like, no, we don't want you rubbing your vagina juices behind your ears like it's Aqua de Show.
It's a body fluid. That's not something that you want to be walking around rubbing on your wrist, rubbing on your neck, shaking hands, and being all over the place with. And then on top of it, you don't know. I mean, not to call anybody out, but you don't know what anybody has, and they're walking around like that.
You know what, man? Between that and a pink sauce, man, you just need to take away the internet from these people.
Seriously,
take away their phones, bro.
It's disgusting. It's TikTok. We see all these trends going on all the time, and we have a woman here. This is disgusting. We have another person I just found out is a woman today. That's nasty. You're a mom and you're a mother. I'm guessing you're not a mummy. Yeah. So, but one thing I don't like about this, I feel now I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but I feel like when you see this take from the Independent, and I'll put it in the chat, when you look at this take, it's like you cannot certain demographics in society you cannot talk about. Every time you say anything to these particular demographics, it's automatically a civil rights violation.
Issue.
I'm gonna bring it up
Right,
real quick.
it's a
Look at
feminist issue.
Yeah, like, the disgust over vabbing is just another way to demonize women's bodies.
Man,
And then she just goes into this story and talks about how the reason why we're upset about this is because we have disgust over women's bodies. And then they bring in all these type of scientists to talk about how, from an animalistic standpoint, this is it sparks a response. Well, newsflash from a man, we don't want your vagina juice.
No, here's a red flag for me. The author of the article probably went through like more than four years of school.
Yep.
Somebody at the paper approved it. She got a job at this paper. Like, if so many people had to co-sign the foolishness to even publish that on something like The Independent, and something like that should be like, it's one thing you start an article on some random blog, but you found this on The Independent. Like,
man, that is a big platform. And here's the thing.
Yes.
People, when it comes to, feminism and everything, there's such a gender war between male and female that people are forgetting that, hey, women are human too. The same way you wouldn't want somebody to lick their finger and then put it on their wrist and put it on their neck and then shake your hand, is the same way that you wouldn't want somebody's bodily fluids on any part of their body touching you, interacting with you, and you don't know this person. You don't know what kind of diseases they have. You don't know what is. There's so many things that are wrong with it, and then on top of it, she's making all these signs. They're throwing out. They have these quacks on The Independent apparently that work with them, putting out all this science about the hormones.
that would really make it bad. Now you try to justify it, you try to back it by so-called science.
And the thing about it is the science is fake. You're not gonna dab vaginal fluid on your neck and somebody's gonna be like, oh man, shout it. Ooh.
Remind me, what's that movie? Was it Anchorman when he had like the panther piss or something?
No, I don't watch white movies.
That's so racist.
Oh, come on.
Anchorman was a classic, man. Hey, man, you need to watch that. That was pretty good. But I think he had panther urine or something as a cologne. And he was wearing it. Like, yeah. But that was this reminds me of.
Yeah, but you guys are just looking at the negative aspects of it. You don't see the positives in vabbing like a $1 billion smile.
I guess $1 billion smile babs. I don't know. You got
the last course is the last appetizer for today is Will Smith apologizing. Okay, Will Smith released an apology on YouTube for going Wild West on Chris Rock. Okay, I don't know why you.
They got pardons now. He read all this. He wrote that down and everything.
Okay. Now, okay, I don't know why he waited until the summertime to drop this video, but at least he didn't wait a millennium. But dude, I'm so clever, guys. So,
oh my god, this is California, y'all.
So, what are your thoughts on the apology?
It was handled badly on so many different levels. I saw one. There was one good article that really broke it down how he still brought it upon himself as a victim in the sense. He started off with the words on the screen.
Yeah.
He looked like a hostage video doing it. Like, it's so much wrong in this. Like, my thing, he probably paid top dollar to a PR firm to do it, and they completely failed.
Man, no, you could tell that the dude is cracked. He has such a bad mental state. The whole entire thing was, I mean, just like you said, it was from the victim. It was from a victimhood kind of angle. And I understand there's a conversation to be had and everything about victimhood in the black community, but now it's not the time. Just say your apology to Chris Rock.
Don't say nothing.
If you're gonna apologize, say your apology to Chris Rock and move forward. And man, it was really bad with his wife when she was making her video and she was making it seem like it was two kids having a spat, and she was the wise mother figure that had to bring them together. And it's like, yo, Chris Rock doesn't owe none of y'all nothing, really.
She just showing how she really regards both of them. She doesn't look at them as men, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole thing. I agree. I feel like it was very disingenuous. And I'm gonna bring up a clip for everybody so you can see it first and see it for yourself. It just really feels artificial. Here we go.
People who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down. So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. If you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
So that was just a brief little teaser, but overall, basically the apology, it wasn't really an apology, it was more about him, as everybody else said. It was about how he felt about slapping somebody, and he could have just saved that. He could have just kept it moving and waited till Chris Rock said something. But I don't know who this apology was for. I don't who was he apologizing to?
Jada.
Yeah, I mean, he was apologizing, I guess, to Jada, to his fans, and the format was absolutely horrible. You know, having it be a Q&A. You know, like, come on, you're going to do a Q&A of the most Googled questions to Will Smith.
Yeah,
come on, man.
And he did it like the typical Netflix documentary, like the cinematography, the edited.
I like that.
Like you had the letters, you see the background, and you hear him talking before you actually see him on the screen. It was I was like, okay, y'all doing too much of this. If you want to do a real apology, just get your phone, put it up in front of your face, and just let it flow, man. Just tell everybody, man, I slapped that nigga and I'm sorry.
I like what G-Mama said. He apologized for the wallet.
Yep, he apologized for the bag.
I think that's true too. And then Kendrick Weston says, Will Smith should just let this go instead of keeping this going. Go hang out with Joel Osteen or TD Jakes.
That's funny. That's funny.
I don't know how Atalia Bot Yisrael said he's
butchered it, man.
Double hockey. Go ahead. What, Ekis?
You butchered it. It's Athalia.
Athalia. I didn't know how to. What do you mean I'm pushing it? I didn't know how to pronounce that.
No. You butchered it. You butchered it. You're like Atalia. Well, I appreciate you. Like, it's good that you attempted. It's good that you attempted.
Yeah, that's what you go by letters like J, X. You keep it as simple as possible.
Now y'all niggas about to go on Power 106 and talk about me messing up y'all culture. Yeah, now it's time for some well-cooked steak.
Did that man just say well cooked?
Yeah, it looked delicious. I had grilled up some steak like that a couple of days ago. And,
you didn't really? You just slapped it? You sizzled it?
I grilled it up. I had to put it in the broiler when I brought it in the house because everybody looked at me like, nigga.
Right, you want to cook this meat, bro? And look at this kid. He's another Cali dude right here.
Man, I don't know what it is with Cali, man.
All summer long, bro.
Man, y'all been making so much news.
All summer long.
Half of the
Hey, no, but we were the Power 106 pull-up, okay? So we pulled up at Power 106.
I had thoughts on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I hope you have thoughts on it because this is what the show's about. So I'm glad you got some thoughts. But all right, everyone. So Tyga came out with this song called "I Caramba," okay, and then "I Caramba" to the song because it was just to me it was kind of tacky. All right, so "I Caramba" was released.
Oh wait. Tacky or corny?
Both.
Okay.
I thought it was both. Okay. Now, people in the Hispanic community, I'm not gonna say Mexican community because this guy, American Cholo, is not Mexican. He's Honduran. Now he got upset, and it's his right. If he wants to get upset, that's fine. But a lot of people are using "I Caramba" as a mechanism to express anti-black sentiments. So Tyga, Power 106 puts this guy on for an interview, and Tyga apologizes. Tyga on her caping, Okay, Tiger's not FBA. Just throw that out there before y'all get us. He's not FBA. We get it, okay? So he goes out there and apologizes, and then the black community in LA is basically like, yo, we sick of this. We sick of Power 106 and all these other radio stations giving voice to anti-black racism, and then also playing our music, appropriating our culture, but won't hire us at all. Even though black program directors and the DJ say they won't hire black people. So basically Power 106 is like one of the forefronts. So I'm probably never gonna be on Power 106 now. But they just basically play black music and they don't hire black people. They don't have any other black people queuing up any other music on the on-air talent. So black people went out there and made their concerns heard. So this is part of PullUp Summer. So what are your thoughts on this, on I Caramba, and on what American Cholo said?
Thank you, Brittany, because I was about to ask you, like, what is he? Because I didn't know that he was an Afro-Latino.
Well, I want to start off by saying the I Caramba song and the video were absolutely horrendous.
Yes.
Just taste-wise, music-wise. It reminds me of that song with YG, Go Loco. And it was the same kind of corny, like Mexican kind of setup to it. And as far as the whole backlash and everything coming from the Hispanic community, especially, we could hone in on the Mexican community, but the Hispanic community as a whole, a lot of them hold this sentiment. And I even remember when I was doing, my job with the Medicare, I had to talk to a lot of Hispanic people. And honestly, they have a lot of the same values as conservative white Americans. So none of this really surprises me. And it doesn't surprise me that Power 106 uses their platform in order to reprimand a black man like that and use it to attack the black community as well. So it's kind of like a Trojan horse.
I saw Tariq was promoting the PullUp. Was he there? I couldn't find any footage of him being there. Was he there? Do you know?
I don't think he was there. And Brittany, Tiger's not Afro-Latino. Where'd you hear that? I think he's Jamaican and Vietnamese.
Oh, okay. Wow, interesting.
He's Blasian.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Blasian. I don't think he's Afro-Latino. But yeah, they were promoting it, and I'm with you, Akis. The people that were pushing, like that were asking Tyga to apologize, they're trying to spin this black and brown narrative as if they're trying to bridge the two communities, but it's not really black and brown unity, especially from the people that are that were going against Tyga. And I'm gonna show you a clip to show you American Cholo's thoughts. All right, 1 second.
North Carolina, they'll pass reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's where we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your parents.
So for everyone, this was out on American Cholo's podcast. This was the guy that went on the tirade against Tyga. Okay, so he went against Tyga. He was saying, "I'm doing this to bring black and brown unity," but then on his own show, he's talking about black people don't deserve reparations. Okay, and he had someone on his show saying, if black people are going to get reparations, we need to unite against them and protest against reparations. So even though this guy is trying to act like he is pushing this for his culture, or he's pushing it or trying to make it look like it's not anti-black activity, it really is. At the end of the day, it's him. Because here's the thing. This is why black people need to get out of this, always need to be validated, always needing people to agree with us or unite with us. NAFTA, when NAFTA was passed, 2 million Mexican farmers lost their land because American agriculture is subsidized. So they were bringing in the corn in the country. It was tearing up their economy. Where is that energy for that?
Man, and that's the funny thing about it, because American Cholo will say all this and they'll talk about how blacks don't deserve reparations. And you see a lot of the Hispanic community want to pass for white, but the Spaniards screwed them over. They're not going to talk about how Mexico was on the Spanish's, you know what, for however long, and they're not going to talk about how America screwed them over so much. I mean, the fact that his name is American Cholo,
and he's not even Mexican. That's another thing.
That's another.
Let's
really
continue.
Thing.
So they had this clip, and then this will cause some of the friction. Okay, so they had this clip. And then Tariq goes and reposts this clip. He retweets it, or he doesn't retweet it, but he shows this. He's like,
and I made a video, and it's specific.
So he puts it out there, and then they talk about it on the No Jumper podcast. Okay, so they go into more detail about it. So listen to this guy talk about Tariq.
There it says Tariq the ghetto coon Nasheed. So that's why I put the phrase ghetto. You want to be ghetto, but you fake as fuck. Coon, you and Uncle Tom, homie. That's all it was. But when you get the phrase and you wake up in the morning and I'm looking at this shit, homie, my fucking stomach was turning. I felt like shit, homie. I'm like, Jesus. I felt like, damn, I'm a fucking racist. That's
You know why you felt like you were racist? Because you said some racist stuff. You sound just like a typical white person.
Man.
Oh, I felt like a racist. Well, you ran around saying racist stuff.
And he doesn't really mean it. You can tell he really doesn't mean it when he says it. Because when he's in his space recording his podcast, like nobody can find it. Oh man, all kind of stuff fly out when it comes to the black community.
And it's like, why are we even in their mouth in the first place? Like, why does reparations got anything? See, this is why black people, you need to understand we are in a racial caste system, and everybody recognizes it but us. The plays they're making is they're playing within the confines of a racial caste system, and they're basically saying, hey, you got to keep these black people at the bottom because everybody validates their self-worth based on us being at the bottom. So they're playing in that game, and black people for a long time have pretended like we're not in this racial caste system, and people are vying for their positions, and we're trying to unite with everybody. It is the worst strategy ever. It's not working. What you guys want to say, Black Eyes?
No, I'll take it in. Well, I'll agree with Keith. Like, I didn't know people still listening to the local radio station anyway, because like I don't even listen to radio for one. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting too, because like I just saw a couple of images from this PullUp, and but I thought, and I was kind of confused because the only thing I saw was Tariq's tweet, so I thought it was something he's putting together. But that's why I asked you, was he there? But he's saying it wasn't. It was somebody else that was running it, and I think to my understanding, like these two other women were running the PullUp. Okay, all right. So yeah,
her name was Nora Dose.
Okay, so right. And was kind of surprised they kind of did. I was surprised they really to take up for Tiger, because considering his history with underage girls. So that's why I was like, there's layers to this. So
well, they said they weren't defending Tiger. They said they were just making sure they on the video they said, hey, he's not even foundational Black American. They said that straight. They're like, we're not defending him. We're just tired of you guys giving voice to anti-Black racists, but then using our culture to make money. Brittany Chavez said Jamaica was conquered by the Spanish at first. So 3 to 6 years ago, they was voted in Jamaica to have Spanish as the second one. That might be true. And but I'm not British, and I'm in the United States. So
if you notice, you know what mum means.
We're gonna leave it at that.
That's kind of. I'm always trying to bring the right conversation to the fucking table.
Whether you no, they speak up for themselves.
So this is another. Listen to this guy talk. This sounds. You could close your eyes and you would think some white people are talking.
No dispute about that. There are some that are really, really articulate with their words and know how to express themselves, and they, you know, doing the right things. But then there's other blacks that just don't give a rat's ass, and they feel like, oh, we went through slavery, we went through this and this. I hate to tell you this, but I don't know any slaves alive left.
Small little town in North Carolina.
Does he not understand the concept of reparations?
No, my thing is they don't never had that smoke for the ish.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Only comes to us.
Racism. Because if you are a staunch proponent for people, you should see you be pro your people no matter the situation. When you can only be staunchly pro your people when it's against Black people, which is the easiest demographic to attack in the United States of America, there's probably some different motivation under there, and it's not staunch defense of your people. It's probably because you're just joining the structure of this country. You could easily beat up on black people. The government allows it. We don't have protection. You could push a black person. Joe Biden won't say nothing. You push an old Asian lady. Oh my God!
Right. And that's the funny thing. The conversation of reparations is coming up, and they had so many people have so much to say on it. AOC has something to say on it. So many in the Hispanic community have something to say on reparations. They were mute when it came to the whole Asian hate crime thing. They're mute whenever they make laws for when they brought all the Afghans into the U.S. They're mute. When they bring all the Ukrainians in, they're mute. But when it comes to blacks getting reparations, oh man, it's a whole thing. And what does it take from them?
Yep, it's mute on NAFTA. Mute on the United States, all through Mexico and down Central America, South America, destabilizing all of that. And we see this with all these different groups. They always come here. Like, for instance, we see a lot of Southeast Asians. They drop more bombs in Southeast Asia during Vietnam than all of World War II. But then they come here and talk against us.
Right.
We see this as a consistent trend against these groups. That's how you know it's anti-black racism. It's not being pushing for your people, because you never speak against the power structure. When you never advocate for your people against the power structure, that's when you put your head down and you shut up. They be whipping you, they beating your people, they killing you, they robbing your country dry, and you are zip. But a black man make a song and you're like, oh, I gotta defend my race. It's like, come on. If you was defending your race, there's a real fight waiting for you.
And it's actually kind of funny because it kind of speaks out to the fact that a lot of the immigrants that come to the U.S. from these different countries are the coons of their country.
Yep.
So that's why they're so ready to join onto the dominant society, because they know if they go back, they got their heads for them.
Yep, they're like, dude, I got my stripes. I got my ribbons. I got my coon ribbons, man.
Exactly.
I'm tried and true in Vietnam, nigga. They know me. I was telling on everybody. I gave them the Rosetta Stone. I wrote it.
Translator, left and right. You know, taught them a few words.
I trained the most Americans in my native language, and they gave me an internship at Microsoft. So, F all you niggas. So, but Brittany Chavez says it's on here on YouTube. If anyone wants to verify it's true that Jamaica was voting for Spanish, Brittany, you could be owned by a particular nation, but not everybody in that country is that particular nation. Just because Belgium owns Congo doesn't mean that every Congolese is Belgian. Now, maybe Tiger might be. I've never heard anything about that. You know, Black Jamaican and Vietnamese, but I don't know even what the point is. It doesn't give him the right to, to make terrible music like Icaramba anyway.
That's the main offense I think Tiger did do.
Yeah, I say it wasn't Icaramba. It was just the whole concept of the song itself, like everything.
The whole thing.
Him making music.
It was just a horrible song.
That's
really the main offense, and the music video was so corny. I'm like, yo, the budget that must have been spent on this.
Yeah,
I personally don't. I understand. Like, if a Mexican person watched that, not a Honduran, but if a Mexican person watched that. That it was offended, I totally understand. There were some parts of it that I was like, yo, this is almost like mocking. Like, I'm not even trying to I'm as far as a black person, we gotta close ranks, but at the same time, like, we gotta police ourselves, and he was wrong for making that damn song. That song was parodying their culture in some parts, man. And if I saw someone make a song like that towards black people, I'd be offended.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes to show, sometimes, people get too comfortable around different groups of people and believe that there's such a black and brown unity to the point where, I'm able to make a whole entire music video with a overweight dressed up as an overweight Hispanic man eating nachos, eating tortilla chips.
You know what? I just thought about it. The Power 106, they haven't apologized yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
So I would. So what would be our next move if they don't?
So there's a pull-up. That's a great question. There's a pull-up this Saturday. So if you happen to be in the LA area, you can pull up to Burbank, California. I believe it's 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. You can pull up at Power 106 and let your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? And this pull-up is real. Now we got to pull up, but then we got to follow up after. You know, you can't pull up and then start listening to Power 106 after, okay?
No,
if you don't pull up on Power 106, you got to not support Power 106. And also, just prioritize Black people at the end of the day. Prioritize Black people. Stop looking for these other communities to validate us. We don't need anybody's validation. All these other people out here following us and copying us. I'm from here. I've lived here my whole entire life. I have hella Hispanic friends, and we don't need anybody's validation. Afro Mexicans have been fighting to get visibility in their country. If you look at telenovelas, anybody that's dark skin is working or doing some type of crime. So we shouldn't be looking towards these different communities. Like, if they're treating their native Black people like this, what do you think they got in store for us? You know what I'm saying? And this is not any shade or anything. It's just about Black people. We need to start prioritizing ourselves. We need to stop trying to be United States savior, the spokesperson for everybody. It was a trick bag that was given to us by the powers that be. And unfortunately, the people that came before us adopted it with open arms. And we're seeing the results of it. People feel like they could speak on our issues.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And another thing I even want to say to, any Black Hispanics out there, when you see the Hispanic community coming out in droves attacking Black Americans, that's not just smoke for the Black Americans. That's for you too. So, we always want to, have cultural identities and identify ourselves with whatever nation we're in. Hey, at the end of the day, they view you as Black. That's going to be what that's going to be.
That's facts. Black Ice, you got any parting thoughts?
No, I covered it.
Yeah, and I think, and Keith, my parting thoughts for today's episode, and $1 billion spot, that's so true. We too dope to be acting so damn insecure all the time, and I'm so sick of it. And my parting thoughts is, Black people, man, this whole thing where we have tribalism going on, and unfortunately Black Americans are starting to create more tribalism. And once again, that's something I'm gonna get flack on, but oh well. We can't just create more tribalism. We got to realize that we all in this together. Now, not everybody sees it that way, but at the end of the day, we need to get to a point where we understand that we have a shared plight. And like, to Keith's point, like, if you're Caribbean or if you're from the continent, when they throwing a shot at any of us, they're really throwing a shot at all of us.
Exactly.
And so we need to really wake up and understand that we can't let people throw shots at us. That's what screwed us over in Africa, because it's like, you see Europeans coming and attacking the tribe, and you're like, well, those are a whole totally separate, different people that have nothing to do with me at all. They bomb them, they bomb on your neighbors, then they bomb on you. We doing that same thing over and over again, man. And we gotta get up out of that, because we're just gonna end up getting picked off slowly but surely. So Black people, understand that you don't need anybody else, man. You don't need anybody else, and you don't need anybody else to validate your story, to validate your righteous anger, to validate what you are owed, and to validate the fact that, we are the progenitors of civilization. We built civilization. We don't need anybody to validate that. That's what you got to understand. The Anglos don't look for anyone to validate them. They say, I want that, I'm going to take that. And if I can't take that, I'm going to keep coming back until I take it. You need to stop looking at these other groups, man. Stop looking to them. They will never see your side. They will never see your side because we're in a racial caste system. Seeing your side instantly puts them in a hot seat, and they're gonna be out of here if they see our side. No one wants to see our side. Trust me, the people that will see our side will not come to the United States. They will stay in their country and fight.
Exactly.
Because it's a fight in their country and there's a fight here. If they're coming here, it's because they're like, yo, I don't want to fight. I just want to find a peaceful place to die. And when black people are trying to unite with these people, we end up having these mismatches where we're like, why aren't you rallying as hard as us? And it's like, that's not what I'm here for.
Right.
You know? You're like, we're all brown. We should all be fighting to say, they're like, yo, no. I'm here to get this internship at Microsoft. I'm going to send my grandma $40 back in my home country, and I'm going to live a good life, and I'm not rocking the boat. You niggas is rocking the boat. And so, once again, I'm going to just leave it at this. Stop looking for external validation. The validation is here. And here, you come from thousands of years of warriors, of fighters, of intellects, of scientists, of philosophers. Claim your rightful place in the world. Push to you.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, how to follow up that, man? You preaching? I'm about to hand the collection plate over the air. And and all your points are very valid. I mean, I was just thinking about my past experience this past week, and most of the black people I work with, you know, there wasn't FBA. You know what I'm saying? But just learning about them and hearing their stories, and you know, like I said, at the end of the day, it's about being on code, and it's okay. It's okay to be proud of who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. And I had no problem with somebody outside my race being proud of who they are. Like if you Ethiopian, it's okay to be proud to be Ethiopian. I totally get it. But this don't get to a point where you're so proud of who you are that you feel like you can't not get along with anybody else, or you know what I mean, or you had to fight everybody else. You know, it's a balance of how you do this thing, and like I said, you gotta have show discernment and who's around you. You know, but too often we so prideful to the point that, oh yeah, you know, we better than everybody. Now you get a little bit too far. You know what I mean? And you lose sight of the greater enemy at bay here.
Yeah, and if I could kind of add to that, I really do think that we have to, across the diaspora, yeah, there's a lot of differences between us, and there's a lot of cultural differences, and it's of course, like you said, it's good to be proud of the cultural differences, but we also have to look at the similarities between us as black folk and understand that, you know, we have ties to each other, and especially, you know, in the diaspora that's descended from transatlantic slave trade, there's a blood tie. So that understanding has to be there as well. So, you know, instead of just divide and conquer, allowing these white folk and, you know, whoever come and divide and conquer us, we gotta be impervious to those kind of attacks.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think that's why the concept of whiteness is so powerful. Like, people really got to give Europe its flowers. Europe has their rise in that short amount of time was pretty gangster, but the concept of whiteness was very powerful because it gave them the mental space to look beyond their ethnicity, to see that it put a name on that commonality between them and said, hey, we're all white. We're all European. We need to rally for what's good for Europe. We can have our internal conflicts, but we need to move as a unit to progress the needs of Europe. Black people, we don't have that. We have not fully adopted that. Black Americans have been pushing it, and I personally feel like we have that clarity of mind to think that because of how we were enslaved. We were enslaved. They said, y'all niggas and we not. Y'all black, we white, and it was clear as day. We couldn't race mix and all that, you know, so we didn't have the opportunity to get confused. It was binary from day one, so we always lived in a binary society. So it's very easy for us to see this. Other people that grew up in like maybe in Spanish colonies, it's not binary like that. So they have to develop that consciousness and understand that you could look around. If you're in Brazil, you look around, all the black people are broke. The white people got bread. You need to understand the commonality. Why is it like this in Brazil? Why is it like this in Honduras? Why is it like this in Ecuador? Why is it like this in the United States? Why is it like this in Canada? Why is Africa as a whole open air prison, slave encampment? Why? These people need to understand this concept of blackness is what we all have in common. And you might like jerk chicken, I might like collard greens, but at the end of the day, we got a common struggle, and we need to put aside the fact that I don't like how you season your chicken. We need to be able to put that aside for a moment, work on our common goal, and after our common goal is accomplished, then we can go talking about how you put too much seasoning on your chicken.
Or how you don't cook your steak at all.
What'd you say, Black Ice?
Or how you don't know how to cook your steak at all. You have raw meat.
We're gonna have the steak
So
conversation.
there's a lunch break and there's some raw steak on the grill.
This Black Ice gets his steak from Dollar General, so he has to cook them well done. Dollar General steak. I got some more jokes. For
Is
y'all.
that even a thing?
He said you got the canned steak. You got the canned steak, boy.
I tell you what.
Hey, before we let y'all go, before we play the jazz music, I'm gonna play some advertisements and state. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm tripping. I was trying to crack a joke. It wasn't coming to my mind. I'm getting old. All right.
My name is Black Ice. And I'm Akis. And we're the Black Narrative. We are a Black First and Hebrew Israelite channel on YouTube that broadcasts live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week, we discuss controversial issues and challenge false narratives that are fed to Black people through mass media. We share research through videos and encourage uncomfortable conversations amongst the Black community. Look up The Black Narrative on YouTube or go to our website, www.theblacknarrative.tv. Shalom.
Man, why everybody cracking on me, man? They said I got steak from the Caucasus Mountains. He said the Caucasus Mountains. What? Do you know what the difference between Caucasus and the Caucasus is?
Don't get into the technicality.
Where you from, Keith Weston? Y'all, I need to talk to your English teacher. G Mummy said I need some baby oil from the Dollar General. My knuckles actually not ashy. It's just it's a lot of boxing and fighting over time. They're like kind of busted looking. So if I move real fast, they look busted. But I'm good. I'm nice and lotioned up. Yeah. So that was the Black Narrative. That's where these two guys come from. And post on 6 Zeros. I'm not gonna play the ad right now, but go on 6zeros.net. We're about giving Black people, free-thinking Black people, a place to be able to converse with one another, talk about topics like this, not worry about being banned or having your voice muted because you're saying things that are against the status quo. Jerry Bunn works at a Nigerian sweatshop making Nikes.
I'm not bald yet. Damn.
Jerry Bunn got verified on 6 Zeros. It was like 11:30 at night my time. She was like, yeah, I want to get verified. I was like, what are you doing up in the middle of the night? She was making Nikes. I'm sorry, she had a bonnet on too. I don't know what you're talking about, Jerry. And Leah, she's laughing. All right, y'all, that's been yeah, Keith, yeah, thank you. I hope you're laughing at my joke.
No, probably
Jerry, at least I make more than you. Girl, my computer costs more than your 6 months salary. Don't they pay you like 25 cents a shoe?
You just had to reboot your computer before the broadcast. This dude broadcast off an iPad.
Jerry Buss said you a gap tooth.
No. Jay used to say iPad is Vicky.
Oh no! You mean the flip phone?
Come on, fam. Get off my IG. YouTube.
And you know what's really sad? Black Ice is 32. This nigga lived a hard life in Decatur.
Wow.
Jerry Bunn said my computer run on Frosted Flakes and flour. Your computer run on Jollof rice. G Money says that's the Family Dollar special on the computer. My computer is a Mac, okay?
That don't mean nothing. Apple II. That's an Apple II.
G Mummy is posting this on Obama phone.
Yo, man, Jay probably playing Oregon Trail on his computer right now. Number munchers.
Black Ice babysit the nigga that made Oregon Trail. Black Ice, the nigga that told him he could do it.
Yo, wait, he had to reboot. He had to get his floppy disk.
Jerry Bun, what's the bun in your name?
You will see the rabbit in the avatar, bro.
Black Ice. What does a bun got to do with a rabbit? Black Ice taught and Keith how to play Oregon Trail. That's how they got. That's how they met.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. That might be a little before my time.
It is before your time, bro. Because I was in like high school, Apple IIs. Well, not middle school. No, elementary. Apple II, Tandy computers, Windows 3.1. All the stuff that Jay uses right now in 2022. you know. There you go.
Hey, G Mom got a beef with me. I obviously hit a nerve with her on the Uber joke.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Your glass do look a little frosted, bro. I don't know condensation going on at your new place or what.
G Mommy like I don't drive Uber, I drive Lyft.
Oh,
right, what else we got?
I don't know. Get us started, bro.
Comebacks. Jay had to make a list of comebacks before tonight. These comebacks is coming straight off the dome. All right.
No. His old jokes he said earlier. It was definitely written down. Jay the type of guy talking about he freestyles and he coming in the phone with a booth.
He comes scrolling.
Yeah. Nah, bro. Not freestyles, buddy. He knew read off his BlackBerry.
Keith Weston said, when people pull up to the drive-thru, they wonder why he keep laughing. Oh, you want a number 5? Jerry Bud said, off the dome with a piece of paper on it. Stop looking down. Stop. Is that what they tell you at the sweatshop? You gotta learn how to make the sneakers without looking.
Oh, man.
All right, y'all. Well, that concludes this episode of The Lunch Break. I'm going to send you off with some nice jazz music. Have a wonderful rest of the week.